For a new and different perspective every week on LEGO sets, news, media, and more, you're listening to the BCC Podcast. It is Monday, July 12th. Let me see what's go. All right. I don't know why it suddenly. Okay. There we are. That was weird. I don't know why. It threw that out as well. Okay, now they should be able to hear us all. People.
Wait, what?
Can they?
Okay, as I said, it is Monday, July 12th of 2021. This is episode 271 of the BCC Podcast. I don't know why it threw out all of our audio, but we look to be all good now. Joining me today is Maluris.
I'm disappointed we have to do this again.
Orion.
Count me also as disappointed for multiple reasons.
And Ford.
I already explained my disappointment at today's events, and now I gotta do stuff with this.
Landlord's a menace.
Yeah. So okay, because they couldn't hear, my landlord put out a notice today saying that they're hiring some people to spray pesticide in the apartments this Friday, and now I have to move all of my Lego stuff out of here, or else it's all going to become more brittle than lime green 07 joints.
Does pest killing spray?
Yeah, so pesticide, the chemicals.
Is that what they're spraying?
Either,
like
when
confirmed?
you,
like that's
I mean, they say they're spraying, for general pest control purposes or whatever.
It's an all-natural treatment of vinegar.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what's what it is exactly, but if it's like
that's what Leo uses.
If it's a chemical-based pesticide, which usually is anyway, either the application of it or the fumes from the pesticide when on like ABS or ABS-like plastic causes it to become very brittle.
We should dip a Bionicle in pesticides.
I'll do it with the Bionicle too. I want to see that. Ford, I really hope that you take I know you're gonna take care of your Lego, but I really hope that after they spray his apartment, he doesn't just he just goes right back to sleep. He doesn't even change the covers or wash it.
Oh no, I'm like
Mm.
taking this. Like I was gonna do my sheets, my bed sheets today in the laundry, and then I got that notice. And I'm like, well, guess I'm doing it Friday night. Ugh, when they're done. I mean, so it's like ugh. But now I got to move all of my stuff out, and I know Orion and Liam, you've seen how much stuff I
Yeah,
have.
Ford has a lot of stuff.
A lot of material wealth.
It's so I got to move all that out of here by like Thursday night at the latest.
Well, good
It's
luck with
annoying.
that.
Thank you. I might be calling in some favors to get some help.
Going over to help.
What?
What?
Orion, are you okay?
Yeah, I don't know what he said.
What?
What did you say?
I said I'm not. You said you're gonna call in some favors. I said I'm not going over there.
Do you owe
I mean,
Ford a
could I?
favor?
No, I don't. Friends do favors for each other, or is
Well, you
it
don't have to
I
call
got
in the
friends here,
favors.
man.
Is it like the Irishmen, where like you only get favors?
Well,
from
when you
people
call
who
in a
saved?
favor, that means someone specifically owes you, or otherwise it's just asking for a favor.
Don't friends just inherently owe favors? I don't know. I just thought this is how it worked.
I don't
got
know.
friends here.
You
that
probably
can
owe me
help
some
out,
favors.
Probably.
so that's fine. I wouldn't be calling you anyway about this.
I know Leo
so-
owes us all some favors.
Yeah, he'll make up for it this year.
Thanks, Ford, for reassuring me that you'll never call me for a favor.
Well, like, how are you gonna help me? You're in Idaho.
No, that was the joke. It was a bad joke. Never mind.
Yeah, it was.
So,
Anyway.
let's get into the actual topic of today. Didn't want to talk about it last week because I was tired. But it's a new day. It's time to complain.
All right.
So, let's start at the beginning. Bionicle was canceled once. Came back 5 years later, 2015. It was then canceled again.
A year later.
Yep, we've debated why exactly it was canceled since then. And now it's been 6 years. No, it's been 5 years. We're in the
Rebel
sixth
Matrix.
sixth year since it was canceled as of June. And it is also Bionicle's 20th anniversary this year. And on LEGO Ideas late last year, Sodaka's set Bionicle 20th anniversary edition. Sakota. What'd I say?
Sodaka.
Like
That's
Rudaka.
weird. Why did I say that? I know his
Someone's
name.
got Rudaka on the brain.
Olek.
Ooh. I'm weird.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like Rudaka.
Thank you for
You're not
agreeing.
too weird.
Anyway, yeah, it was the Bionicle 20th anniversary legacy or something like that. What was the idea's name?
It was celebrating 20 years of Lego Stories. That was sort of the byline.
No, wait. What?
I don't remember what it was on ideas, but anyways, it went
Yeah,
through
it
the
was
review.
Lego Bionicle celebrating 20 years of Lego Stories. That's it.
Then it got beat out by, wasn't it both the Typewriter and Home Alone?
It was the Typewriter, Home Alone, and Seinfeld. 2 of those have already been revealed.
Yeah, where's Home Alone? I want to see Home Alone. But anyway,
Probably Christmas.
that was kind of disappointing. But then comes along this year's LEGO Ideas, Bricklink Designer Program.
Which, for those who don't know, is a program where they take rejected ideas and they put them back up for crowdfunding, and the first few that get it can then move on to be produced and distributed to a certain number of people.
So here, I will go over that in a little bit more detail here. So there are several phases or rounds to this where previously rejected LEGO Ideas projects are going to get a chance to actually be made into sets. Not quite the same. They can't use any new molds. I don't think they can use prints or minifigures or anything. They're entirely designed by the fans. The actual LEGO designers do not get to rework them like they do with LEGO Ideas. They do not have instruction booklets, so it's kind of watered down from there. But they do get an official box that actually goes through Lego, so it is a real set. They did this a couple of years ago. They have like a castle set and a western set are the two ones I recall. Very valuable today, very sought after sets.
And for this round, it was actually sold through Lego.com, so you even have that kind of official, like, you know, thing there, I guess. I don't know what else to call it.
So the first, originally it was going to be in everything on June 1st. They decided to break up into 3 rounds. The first round would be July 1st. We didn't know exactly what would happen until a few days before it let us know, and if you go back a couple episodes, you hear us talk about this. They need to get 3,000 pre-orders in order to be funded. And they needed to sell 5,000, or sorry, they didn't need to, but 5,000 was the limit of how many they would make. And for each round, 5 projects would be made into sets. If you pre-ordered a set that did not make it, you'd get refunded. I don't know if that's happened for me yet.
So the story with that is, technically, it's not like a if they don't make it, you get refunded thing. It's you're basically putting in a pre-order, and if they can't fulfill it, they just don't take the money from your account.
I thought they already did, though.
So, like, I had thought that, I made a pre-order, and it didn't make it, and I thought they'd already taken the money from my account, but apparently not.
I thought they did, because I thought I got a notification when I used my credit card.
So I got sent a PayPal notification because I used PayPal.
Well,
But it didn't show up on my bank.
Yeah, if it was with the credit card, it would show that it's like a pending request, and then they would fulfill it.
In that case, I think it might still be sitting there.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, you might want to check on that.
But anyway, so the day comes. I thought for certain there'd be enough Bionicle fans. I still think there are enough, because obviously we got 10,000 supporters for the Lego Ideas Bionicle project. So obviously, you know, we should be able to get 3,000 of those people to actually buy the set now it's available, right? Okay, so here's what happens. Rounds go up. Immediately, the site, as I predicted before too, performance is awful. They didn't tell us how this was going to work beforehand. It was really hard to navigate to get to where we could actually buy the set. And yeah, it just took forever. And the sets we had here were Particle Accelerator, the Castle of the Forest, Great Fishing Boat, Sheriff Safe, Pursuit of Flight, Kakapo, and Bionicle Legends, Sakota's Bionicle Legends set. The one that we've been waiting for, the one that we came here for. The price was not revealed until the day of, when it went on sale. Now, I think the price floating around at the time was like $150 to $200, which I was prepared to pay for. It ended up only being $120 for the piece count was $1,573. So that was a really good price to piece ratio. However, as time went on, Castle sells out instantly.
Yeah, it sold out in like 10 minutes.
Fishing Boat's not far behind that, sold out in like an hour and a half. Pursuit of Flight with it under 2 hours, same with Sheriff Safe. So then we had 3 left: the Kakapo, Bionicle Legends, and the Particle Accelerator. The Kakapo, Kakapo, whatever.
Kakapo.
It's this bird I'd never even heard of.
It's a parrot.
Okay.
You see, what's funny here is that this is a bird that's native to New Zealand, and whenever I would check, it would be sold out in New Zealand. So the New Zealanders can't get the New Zealand bird. So I don't know, just a funny detail.
It's sold out in New Zealand. You mean like they?
So here's the thing: you could on that day you could buy it just fine at any time when you were buying from the U.S. But if you checked New Zealand as your country that you wanted to ship it to, it would tell you it was sold out. So the New Zealanders can't even get their own bird.
Well,
go on.
Are we sure though? Well, I don't even know how that stuff works really, but are you sure that they didn't reach the quota for the amount that they could ship to?
Yeah, that's what happened.
I mean, that's what happened. But like, if you
So
still
people
have
in New
pre-orders
Zealand
open,
did get some,
but
right?
like if you still
That
have
is the
pre-orders
thing. You
open,
can
then,
only
like,
ship so many
why-
to different countries.
That's
Well,
dumb.
That's a thing in
That's really
distribution.
I'm pretty sure. Yeah.
Also, a lot of people were complaining about the amount of countries that were there.
That
Um,
I do not find as a valid criticism, actually, because all the
Well,
major
actually-
countries were on. If you can buy stuff
I
off
mean,
Lego.com,
yeah,
you
I
could
get
buy
that,
these.
but like,
It would not have made any difference in the pre-orders. Those countries are way too small to have made a
I
big
know
dent.
look at who it was. They were complaining about like they were in Romania and they couldn't order anything. From
Yeah.
it because Romania wasn't.
I can
like, a country.
understand
So, like,
that
stuff
definitely
like
sucks
that.
for you, but
Yeah.
that is not something that is surprising.
It's not
I don't
surprising.
know. I just think that like with how worldwide this hobby is, it's harebrained when a company like Lego
They
does
would
something
ship
like
to
this.
Romania, though.
I don't know.
Like, why not?
Again,
getting too much
Lego
in my-
Shop, the issue isn't with this, though. That's something totally different. The Lego Shop online does not ship to Romania.
Well, this is Bricklink technically.
No,
the
this goes through
shipping.
the shipping limitations were all through Lego Shop.
That's what made it more
Remember-
official.
Okay, I didn't know that.
Yeah, Bricklink ships fine to Romania because remember, each individual shop on Bricklink handles it. This is really not connected to Bricklink at all.
All right.
Bricklink is
All right,
just
go
where
on.
they hosted it.
I don't want to steal any more time.
Okay, so, and during like the last hour 3 is about where it was. There's only one more project could take the slot. The Kakapo Bionicle Legends Particle Accelerator. Bionicle is barely beating out the Particle Accelerator, and we're 2.5 hours in. Meanwhile, the Kakapo, or Kakapo, whatever, keeps inching
Aaron.
upward and overtaking Bionicle. It wins, Bionicle doesn't. Now, before we get into, everyone's gonna get their floor for 10 minutes here because we have some strong thoughts on this. The main reasons I heard, it's not because there wasn't enough people. A lot of people in the Bionicle community refused to buy it. The reasons I heard were mainly the price.
Also, wasn't it more than 120? I thought it was like 220.
No, that was what people thought it might be, but no, it ended up being 120.
Okay. I could have sworn that I saw it, and it was like 2 something.
Nope,
But,
120.
Maybe if
Okay.
you're paying for 2 of them, it would be 2 something, but
oh no, okay, that's what I saw though. Because didn't Liam try to get 2 of them or something?
Yeah.
Or whatever it was. Cheater.
You could buy up to
cheater.
5. They changed that for the future. Now you can only buy 1. And also, everything else, the castle, there to make this even worse, there's a glitch in the system. And they were selling more than 5,000 the other one. The castle and the fishing boat sold out within 2 hours.
And
They actually
and
sold 10,000
units.
Well,
yeah.
the fishing boat didn't quite sell 10,000. The castle did. The fishing boat sold over 5,000. So, Bionicle could not even make it up to 1,500 pre-orders. That is bad. But I won't give my opinion yet, because that comes later. Yeah, the main thing I heard people say is they didn't want to spend the money. Some people thought maybe after people get out of work or something it would go up, but there wasn't enough time for that because there's all this other stuff. And I can understand Castle has a fandom around it, but these other ones don't even have like a fandom behind it. The Kakapo does not have the dedicated fan base. In fact, it's the only one here. There are still sets available to buy for that one. Yet Bionicle couldn't beat it. This was the one chance to get a set for Bionicle's 20th anniversary, and the community did blow it. This gives us insight into what happened with Bionicle G2 and what's happened, why Lego rejected the Ideas product to begin with. Bionicle fans don't just want Bionicle stuff. And I can understand some people say, like, oh, well, this isn't their thing or something like that. Okay, but why is it on such a large scale that the Bionicle community rejects this type of thing entirely? They don't just want Bionicle, they don't want something to celebrate Bionicle. Most of them don't want to actually spend any money. They like complaining about it, is what it seems to be. They don't want to put their money where their mouth is, and that's why Lego doesn't do Bionicle anymore. And you know that, is it the 90th anniversary set that Bionicle's in the top 3 for?
90th, yes.
Yeah. Lego's not going to choose that. Because we have, as a community, if you're a Bionicle fan out there listening, you didn't order that, you've proven to Lego they'd have to be stupid to make this a set.
feeling real guilty right about now myself.
So I'm gonna go more into detail on my thoughts later. Kevin hasn't talked much yet, so we're gonna give him the floor for first here. Give him 10 minutes to express his thoughts.
I mean,
Do we have to go 10 minutes?
No, you just get
No,
10
just-
minutes at max.
Yeah. So basically, we've been talking it up for a couple weeks, and I obviously was like, yeah, I want to get some Bionicle. Thing is, like, the pre-ordering started at 11 o'clock. I was working at 11 o'clock. I didn't exactly have time to do anything with it at the time. It comes around to my break time. I'm like, okay, hopefully there's still something left. I hope I'm just in time to scrape a set or two, maybe. I go in, and it's like, oh, of course I'm having trouble with the website. I think most of us did, and it's like, wow, that's bad, and that's taken up the majority of my break. But I'm super psyched. I did get the order in. It's like, okay, now I just gotta wait for the rest of the day to go down. I do, and I'm not too up to date on like how the system works. Of like, oh, where's the cutoff system? I was just trying to book it to get my Bionicle set.
Which I will give some people, like, sorry to interrupt you, Kevin, but a lot of people didn't understand that you have to be one of the first 5 projects to be funded. And I
Yeah.
understand that.
I didn't get that as much, but it didn't matter. I got my pre-order in. I was good. I was happy. Then probably check on my my final break of the day. It's like 4:30 at this point, and it's like, well, Bionicle is dead again. And that just sucks because it's like I was looking around at the price just right now of most of the other sets that did get pre-ordered, and like most people are saying, oh, it's a money thing. Yeah, okay, whatever. But then we get the whole thing. They're practically the same prices for the top selling sets. It's just or more in the case of the castle, and it's just, yeah, most of them are sort of up there, and it's just like, okay, I can see maybe some of the smaller sets being sold out, like the safe. I'd pick that up for that price. Yeah, it's an exclusive set. It's only $50. Sure, I get that, but people have just been going on for Bionicle for years. Like, some people just don't stop talking about it, and that it's like the only thing we could have ever wanted is Bionicle as Bionicle fans, and that they're like begging Lego, oh, let's bring Bionicle back. That's why we got G2, and then G2 failed, and it's like, you could, like we talked about before, it's like, okay, Lego didn't put as much into the marketing as we had hoped because, we were used to Bionicle being that pivot point for them at a time. But then they have diversified since and have been picking up a lot of properties and lots of just all sorts of properties that they've been picking up and making a lot of money on. When they get Bionicle back as their original IP, and it's not selling like the other properties, why bother with Bionicle? And that sucks because, like, as a kid, one of the things that I would always consistently pick up was, like, I love Star Wars sets, I love Bionicle sets. And those would always be, like, Christmas lift, birthday gifts, that sort of thing that would be consistent. And, call me nostalgic or whatever, but I miss that. And it would be cool just to have another Bionicle set. Again, it was cool during G2, yeah, but this was actually like the G1 celebration. It had all the story beats, and that was something I was super into. The story had, like, the Mata, the like Mari and everything. Like it just encapsulated everything that was like, yes, this was really story driven. The set just speaks to sort of that story that we had been given, and it gave us a chance to like actually own a bit more of the scenery instead of, because we got plenty of the characters, of course, but you didn't get the Mata Beach, of course. You didn't get that, and this is a good display piece for that, you know? And I mean, it's just I don't like at all how the community has just, I don't know if they just didn't care enough to get up at 11 o'clock to buy this. I don't know if I don't know why that bird beat us.
Yeah, again, we were beat by a freaking parrot.
A meme parrot.
What was the
That's what it is. It's a
most
meme.
expensive one on there?
The most
Wow.
expensive was the castle.
Castle.
And that was the first one that like sold out, I think.
How much was
So
the
you
castle?
can't even argue that it was too expensive.
180.
Well, the thing
So
is,
it wasn't-
Castle actually, despite the fact that we complain about Castle and Space fans, they actually put their money to the products they like. That's why Lego keeps on putting out classic Castle and Space.
Yeah, it's not like they're
because
lacking on
and
castles.
The
NASA.
space.
Because
Yeah, no,
they
this-
actually fork out the cash whenever they're given the opportunity and say, hey, we want this. When Bionicles are given the chance, it's like, no, I actually don't like this set. I only voted for it because it was Bionicle. Maybe next time there's a better Bionicle set, I might.
But I don't
And-
think
Well,
they
no,
understand that this is their
See,
last
no, that's the
chance.
whole.
Yeah.
That's the whole
No.
mentality behind it, actually.
And it's also, like, I think Lego got most of their sales from, like, the older Bionicle fans who were actually into it when it came out, and they were kind of, like, probably 15 when it came out, and they either have drifted apart from Lego at this point, or they're not spending the money on it at this point because they have other things going on for them. But for, like, fans like me who are kind of just born into it pretty much, you could say, it's like, now I actually have money to spend on it. I want to spend my money on it. Before I had to wait for 2 times a year to get some sets. Now I want to be able to fork over the cash, and I can't do that because it's dead. And we killed it.
I mean, you didn't.
Yeah, the people. To be clear, the title of this is not directed at anyone who actually paid for the set, and I'll address like more of the common arguments I've heard during my time. But I'm going to give Ford the floor first.
Hang on, I just wanted to check, just see if there's any interesting questions in the chat.
I didn't buy it because I had to spend the money. I had to get baseboard for the house.
Yeah, I tend to be cheap with Lego. Don't really drop $100 plus on a whim.
And
The
to
thing is, it
that,
wasn't really on a whim. It was like
we did know it was coming for a long time. So yeah, it
Yeah.
wasn't on a whim. And the other point I will say to that is,
we had set money aside. We saved up for this.
yeah, and for the other thing I'll say is 100 plus for anyone who's into Lego, that's very normal. And if anyone, now if you're someone who says, yeah, I don't really want Bionicle back and you didn't buy this, and I can respect that. But if you're someone who says, oh, I want Bionicle back, also I'm not prepared to spend this amount of money on a hobby that is a very expensive hobby, and not to mention 120 after 5 years of something is not very much.
Although I can pretty much tell you the actual what actually happened if Ford doesn't mind, just like a quick interlude.
Yeah, go ahead.
Do you want
yeah.
your minutes now, Ryan?
Yeah, let
Unless
Orion
Ford
get his
has
stuff
something,
out.
like if he had like something on the tip of his tongue or something. Like
I'm
You can go
still
ahead
kinda
if you're
formulating
ready.
My response. So go
I
ahead.
don't even know if I'll go 10 minutes.
Okay,
But,
you don't have
but I
to. I
think-
encourage you not to go 10 minutes. If you don't just try and pad it.
Pat, I'll do a filibuster.
Mhm.
Yeah, so I think mainly what happened, and I wasn't I wasn't incredibly invested in this. Maybe I should have been more invested, but you had the people who, how many was it who did the Lego ideas?
At least
Voted for
10,000. That's what it needed to
Okay.
go into review.
So the 10,000 people who voted for that weren't going to buy it.
Which
Not
is
all
stupid
10,000.
because a pledge or support on Lego Ideas means this is a set I
No,
would buy.
No, I know that, but I'm also looking at it as like it's free to vote, right? So
Yeah, so that's
like
the thing. This set came to prominence when they stopped putting out that little questionnaire. Like after you hit support, um, it would give you this sort of questionnaire, like, okay, how much would you be able to, or would you be willing to pay for this?
there was a
Things like
questionnaire.
that. Yeah, it used to be that way, but when that went out, when that set sort of like went into the support phase, that was gone from the site. They removed that feature. So
Oh,
that's telling of what you're saying.
yeah, but I think though, like I honestly don't hold that against anybody who would vote for that, because I think mainly what people who weren't going to pay for it did when they were voting, they're like they want to see other people at least get the set if they can't afford the set, and I don't know why they can't, or or if that's the case, whether may or may not be. But you have 10,000 people who vote on that. They're voting for it to be made into a set. They're not voting for it to buy the set necessarily. Like that's the logic that's basically happening, and it's different because you're not. It's not like a Kickstarter or anything. You're not paying up front for it, and you want to like. I can easily see a Bionicle fan who actually well, it's harder though because everyone's so much older. Like you'd think more people would have jobs where they could buy
I'm
it
gonna
or
address that in
whatever.
mind.
But okay, Mr. Blue Collar, but no, no. Or but so yeah, you have 10,000 people vote for it to become a set, not to buy this set. And then when it becomes time to like, when that doesn't pass, then basically you don't have 10,000 people interested in it anymore. You have like the original amount of people who are willing to pay about $200 around that area of just to buy that. Uh, Goodness, man, my tongue is so friggin' tied. Uh, Liam's messaging in the chat when Orion started talking, views dropped to 0. I'm sorry, I'm so uninteresting. Anyway, you get the general gist of what I'm saying. I'm not.
Oh,
very
never mind.
articulate.
It was a glitch. They didn't really drop YouTube screwed up the
Nice.
analytics.
Yeah, no, they always do that.
I'm not very articulate when it comes to this stuff. But yeah, so I guess I don't really hold it against anybody, to be honest. Like if I would have voted for it, I wasn't going to buy it because I had like a lot of other stuff I needed to spend money on. And I couldn't really do like I thought it was gonna be 200, and that's actually the impression I was under for some reason because Liam said he was gonna buy 2 and it'd be like 200 something. So that was my fault, but I would have still voted for it anyway because I wanted to see other people like get it. I thought there would have been more of a demand, but in hindsight, there isn't really much of a demand. Like if Lego did, here's some advice for Lego: don't make Bionicle because it's not really going to be profitable. Like when I saw the 10,000 or whatever, I thought, okay, there's a lot of people backing this, but it's kind of like the same thing with polls, or whatever. Like you can get a lot of people to vote on a poll, but if you actually confront a person about what they voted on in a poll, like, are you going to do this? Like, probably not. Most people probably not.
I have a rebuttal to that, but I'll get to it in my part.
Oh, that people wouldn't vote?
No, I have a rebuttal to what you're saying. This like I can understand all the points you're giving, but here's the thing. That only happened with the Bionicle community. None of the other Lego communities that happened.
And
with.
I'm gonna address that a bit in my talk
yeah.
as
well. I prefer more like back and forth, honest, because I get more material to work with. It helps my theory because I improvise. I never prepare anything. So, but okay, yeah. Well, that's a good point too. Why specifically Bionicle fans? Why does this always happen? Because I always joke like you see an overlap with like anime fans and Bionicle fans. I think if you could even make the comparison that like a large majority of Bionicle fans, like hardcore Bionicle fans, not like the upstanding hardcore Bionicle fans, but the other ones,
The ones
Kinda
that make
working
it so
like-
we don't want to be on Twitter.
Yeah, I'm still on there. Follow me, Orion_Bridges. No, but you kind of like you're very atypical Redditor living in their parents' place. They have a part-time job. Maybe they're going to college. Probably thinking of dropping out, or they have dropped out of college.
This is
career
getting
isn't
very specific.
career isn't looking too great. If you could probably feature a couple of their rooms on like messy rooms 4chan forums or whatever, like stuff like that. Like My Little Pony crossover, anime weeboo crossover type of people. Because I think how we've always talked about Bionicle is so different thematically and structurally from other Lego sets, right? The fan base is also incredibly different from most of the other Lego fan bases too. You have a lot more just degenerates in the Bionicle community, I think, probably, maybe statistically. I don't know. I just know what I saw when I went to the mock section at the last couple of brick fairs that we went to. I could very easily say that there were more degenerate stuff there than in the other
I like how you
sections.
start saying like, "Oh, I understand these people." Then you go to, "Yeah, they're degenerates."
I can understand the degenerate mindset, like the Sigma mindset. And no, but to me, I'm not too upset about this because I didn't ever say anything, but I just kind of saw this as the result from like a mile away, anyways. And I'm not too. And generally, even if they weren't a lot of degenerates, I like if they. If it's just a normal group of people, I can easily understand, like, you don't have the budget for this thing right now, or you want to spend on something else, like I did, basically. But you still want to see other people get the set because you see a high demand for it. So you vote for it and you hope that, okay, I'll help it get passed, and then it'll go to other people. Like, that's like the mentality. But it's a little bit, I don't know, defeating when you actually think about it. Like, it's not, that wasn't even necessarily the mentality. They were just voting for it. Almost mindlessly. It wasn't even for other people to get the set, really. It was just voting for it because it was Bionicle.
The mindless thing.
Yeah, well, I didn't even like the set too much. I know, like, the guy, Sakota, what was it?
Yeah,
Sakota. He put a lot of hard work into it. What was it? I was in a chat somewhere where he was talking about stuff at some point. I forget where. But it seems like a very, decent guy who put a lot of time and effort into it. I don't want to say the set was bad. I didn't like the set, really. Partially that's why I didn't want to buy it. I assume some Bionicle fans as well would have probably bought it more if it had gone through an ideas like approval thing than through like the Bricklink thing, purely because it would have had that more like it has to be more official or whatever. But since it wasn't Construction, like, I don't know, you know how Bionicle fans are in Construction and everything. So that probably played a huge part in it as well. I saw a couple threads tweets on Twitter. Someone had said something ridiculous like, I'm fine with paying some money, but not a clump of surgery money or something.
Okay, I've been paying off surgery debt the majority of this year, and let me tell you, that is nowhere near surgery money.
Did you get surgery?
Yeah, I got minimally invasive surgery, and I have hardly added anything.
You never told me this.
Yes, I did. It was in Maine. I've been talking about my debt from it too in Maine, like, for weeks.
No, all you did. I never saw the surgery part. I've seen all the other stuff. I didn't know you had surgery.
Yeah. And this is with like the discounts from the insurance company and everything. But yeah, let me tell you, you out there who obviously have not lived an adult life before, this is nothing compared to surgery money. Doctors will screw you over for every single cent that they can.
He's just upset that I made him lose 4K on Dogecoin.
All right, your 10 minutes is up, Orion.
Is the view count going back up now?
Let's see. A little bit.
It's
Did we
on
get
the
any?
rise.
before we get into Forza, did anyone else say anything in their chat and stuff?
Sombrero Man said there's also quite a bit of crossover between Bionicle and TF2.
Oh, Team
Never
Fortress
understood
2?
that
Yeah,
one,
there
but
is.
alright.
There's a lot. Yeah. I don't know why that is. That's yeah, because I follow people who are really into TF2 who also really like Bionicle. It's very strange.
All right, Ford, did you want to go next, or do you want me to go first? I'm fine either way.
I want to hear Liam talk about how he plans to overthrow the American healthcare system.
Well, I could do that, but that'll be
I'll-
another
I'll-
time. And
I'll
it's
go
a subject that even makes my own family mad at me.
I'll
So
go next.
Wait, your family's mad at you? What?
Do you really want to talk about
no, only
this?
when I talk about that, they don't not mad at me personally, but they don't like my views on how to.
I was thinking that your family was mad at you for spending all this money on medical care or something. Okay.
No, okay, Ford, you wanted to go then?
Yeah.
Okay.
So I've been thinking about this response for a couple weeks now. Since the day. And
Make it
I
sound
think
too dramatic.
I think what really gets me
Oh, Lord.
is the community. And to be blunt, I've dealt with a lot of crap in this community. It's like I've tried my best to defend the Bionicle community as much as I can, because of what it has provided to me. It allowed me to, express my views on the state of the line and all that, and to really become a Lego fan and all that. But most importantly, it introduced me to you guys. Again, without the Bionicle community, I would not be here. I wouldn't be involved with any of this stuff. I wouldn't have met anybody from TDV or BZ Power or anybody like that. I wouldn't have been the winner of the big box, the big G2 box.
Yeah, big
Back at
box,
Brick
big
Fair.
box.
Yeah, with Orion as my spotter, because that thing was
That
heavy.
was so
That thing was heavy.
Get a picture
Can't
of that
deny.
pulled up if you can of Liam while he's talking about it.
I'd have to find it.
No, Liam, you do.
Yeah. But I feel like I've got a really great, weight, in mind in this community. And time again, it has just failed me on so many levels. And for some reason I just don't get it. And I still don't get it. But I think it's the mindset that they can be taken seriously, but then when they need to put their money where their mouths are, they just can't do it. They just don't show up. I think my favorite example is a very recent one. It was just after the ideas round came up and Bionicle got rejected, and then all these people were saying, "Oh man, Lego's not taking us seriously. They think we're a bunch of kids." Well, they should know that we could be taken seriously. And then less than a month later, Hosrix was the thing. And then all this complaining about the the cannon contest. And I'm in favor of the cannon contests, but guys, take it seriously, or else they're not going to take you seriously. But this was really the final nail in the coffin for me. I've tried to defend this community at every turn I can, just because, again, of what they've given to me. But seeing how, seeing the fallout from this, and how they really
Liam,
just don't care.
You skipped entirely over what happened after. Like the fallout. You missed that.
Oh, I did actually avoid the fallout entirely myself.
Oh, well, I didn't follow up.
You can
on
talk
so
about
I
it
was-
later. Let's let Ford have his time.
Yeah, I mean, the fallout, honestly, was just, it
I
just
don't
kind
know
of
what the
felt
fallout
half-baked.
was. What was it?
It was just nothing. It was
Oh,
a bunch of it was like a bunch of people saying, "Oh, well, didn't want it anyway," or and stuff like that, or like, "Oh, we're gonna try and make it ourselves." I'm like, guys, just let it go.
Okay, real quick, the people who said I will bricklink the parts, you realize you're going to be spending double or more of the money.
Yeah, like,
Didn't you say that, Liam? Though.
That I would bricklink? No, I said I wouldn't
I
bricklink
mean,
them.
I said I would at first, like, just to see, like, okay, maybe he'll like put out the parts list or something like that. But then I thought, like, you know what? I'm just gonna spend my money elsewhere, because like I'm just kind of fed up with this community. I mean, this is the same community that doesn't want to spend $120 for this set, which, like, you know, whether you like the set or not, I don't care. But you'd still be willing to spend $400 on a Toamon Inui sealed. You'd still be willing to pay $100 on a Rudaka.
I would say
Kitaku or something like that.
I'm not sure they would.
Like you'd be willing to spend buku bucks to get, you know, a high caliber Bionicle set from the aughts, but you're not gonna pay for this. It just feels kind of weird to me. I don't know. Maybe there's some kind of disconnect there.
I think also, sorry to interrupt.
Yeah.
I just had this realization. This is also me too. It's easier to make big purchases on an impulse buy than it is to make a predetermined big purchase. Like if you're scrolling through eBay, right, and you see like, if you do, I don't know what Rudaka goes for or whatever, but like if you did see Rudaka for 100 and that's like somewhat of a decent price. Okay, I'll buy that, and you buy it.
I just don't know if that psychology
Buyers
really
remorse.
applies here, though.
Well, I don't know. It's easier to buy things on impulse than it is to buy things like, okay, I'm setting aside money for this, and I'm buying this.
I don't buy $100 stuff on impulse. I buy $100
I
stuff
do.
with thought into it. And if other people are doing like you do, then that's
I'm just
not
explaining
only
the
news to me, but
degenerate
that's also
minds.
very alarming with how people are spending their money these days.
I mean, I do
Oh,
that
just
too.
Genuinely.
You don't want to know what happened to all of Biden's COVID checks.
Mm.
You have no idea how many flat screen TVs I saw walk out the Walmart door.
But anyway, it's just like this was our opportunity to be heard, and just
To rise.
once again, not heard because we just didn't show up. I don't know. I think like it's hard to make this response not sound biased. I think that's
Too
really the
biased.
difficulty that I'm having.
I don't think so at all. I'm just not able to like get the I wasn't too invested in it, so I'm not being too dramatic about it. I guess I should feel that worse for you guys.
I will say I don't feel like these feelings
That's the
towards
thing,
people
like,
like
I
you,
don't
Ryan,
feel- I
because
don't
you are
feel
not
bad that I'm
constantly
not
talking
getting
about
set.
Bionicle.
Yeah, like I don't feel bad that I'm not getting the set.
Well, you can't blame me for
I
wanting to talk about
feel
Bionicle
bad
too
that
much.
like this community just keeps letting other people down.
'Cause I wouldn't
Like this
wanna get
community has
invested.
no support structure at all. It's just a totally like Castle has a community. Okay, for as much as we complain about Castle, you know how boring it is and how overdone it is, they came out. Hell, even the fishing boat has a community. There's a
Yeah,
whole
well-
community for like model ships and stuff like that. There's this whole like built-in community, but like we argue that the Bionicle community is so strong. It's so like, you know, we could do stuff, but then like when it comes to actually trying to do stuff, they just don't want to do stuff.
How many of these sets TTV's ad sets could have bought?
All right.
I'm gonna have to
You about
DM
done,
him.
Ford?
Yeah, but yeah, that's really where my disappointment lies.
Okay.
It's just like I've defended this community at every turn, and this is just the final nail in the coffin for me.
Wait,
I'm
no,
done.
we've bashed it. We've bashed them plenty of times.
The only thing that this community has given me now of worth
It's pain.
is this.
Is what, the parrot?
This.
It's true. The
Oh,
Bionicle community did
I
give us
can't
the
see
parrot.
you- Dude, I can't see you like moving your arms, like gesturing toward the screen or anything.
I'm not pointing at it. I am Italian. I talk with my hands, but I'm
Can
not
you see
pointing
the
at the screen.
quotations I'm making with my yellow flag?
Seriously, like this is the only thing that this community has given to me. You know, just being in it. So like, I'll value that, but I think outside of that, there's nothing else. Not anymore.
Yeah, I want to hear Liam talk about
Okay.
the
So,
medical system now.
no, I'm not going to talk about the medical system.
But Dogecoin, are you still?
There's still going to be similarities drawn, but I don't think I have the time.
Between Dogecoin and this?
Yeah.
Actually,
Oh, boy.
Yeah, I can see that.
That'd be good.
Oh my gosh. Yes, it's just like it.
Okay, so I'm actually surprised that most of you guys did not hit a lot of points that I planned on
No,
hitting.
I purposefully avoided the points I knew you were going to talk about because it's like, I don't want to steal this guy's thunder.
And I made the point I wanted to make.
So, people who know me know I've been a vocal critic of the Bionicle community in its modern day state for quite a while. And I want to preface that this was not always the case. Again, us here, okay, we're at a bit of a unique situation because outside of Ford, we didn't come from the traditional Bionicle community.
Came from the Lego universe community.
Yeah, a lot of us did actually. Like, we came from the Lego message board. We did not go to BZ Power or like any of the. There wasn't really any other place besides BZ Power at that time.
We were kind of our own. We were our own community.
Yeah, we really
Like
were.
the
And there were
whole-
other people back during that time, but they have largely moved on, or they're even worse than the people I'm about to address. So take that as you will.
You know, we never really had went to form. Leo was the only one who was really form heavy. Really,
I was on them. I mean, I was on TTV for a while as well, and we'll get into that more another time, though. My entire experience with the Bionicle community could be a whole video in itself. I've thought about making it several times, but I decided there's no reason for me just to spread that negativity in a well-edited video and make that some. I don't want to be known for making that video. I'd rather make videos about the stuff I like than the stuff I don't like.
At least in a well-edited video.
Yeah,
You know,
I'm totally fine doing it here. Even then, though, that's why we don't talk about this stuff that often on this podcast. Because we would rather discuss the stuff we like.
Right.
I like trashing the Bionicle community, though.
I don't like doing it all the time. But, anyway, let's actually get into this. I made some notes here.
Okay, yeah.
So again, to preface it, the community even though we did come from a different place, I've met a lot of great people in the community. We got Ford out of the other community. He wasn't on the message boards with us. We are good friends like people in Modularity and TTV. They're cool. This is not directed at those people. This is also not directed at the type of people, if you didn't buy it and you're not obnoxious, and I will address what is obnoxious in just a bit here, then this is not addressed at you. Probably if you're listening to this podcast, this isn't going to be addressed at you, because I know our general audience pretty well at this point. If this stays like a normally viewed podcast, this is likely not addressed at you. But a huge portion of this community really sucks.
I wonder if Justin put in for this.
No, seriously, there's issues in the Bionicle community that make me sick. Honestly, it has gotten to the point where people know that I stepped away from social media last year. I decided I didn't need it anymore. And honestly, if just put it out there, if you are struggling with mental health, getting off social media is a very good thing to do. I'm not someone who hates social media either. I'm not saying just everyone should be off its evil thing. But I will say for me, that was definitely a big thing. Just being around people who are constantly, and you think these people represent everyone, that's not a good, zone to be in. It really screws with your mind. But anyway, I brought up this before. The Bionicle community, as the years go on, especially in the, aftermath of G2, has gotten weird, and the people who are left are weirdly obsessive with Bionicle in all the wrong ways. There are a lot of community projects out there. Some of them are pretty good. There's this guy who actually goes and restores old Bionicle commercials and trailers and stuff, and that guy, good on you. That is some cool stuff and value contribution. Then there are people who I don't want to just throw under the bus on air that try to make these gigantic, basically, Bionicle revival. Oh, we are the new Bionicle. We are the community pushing things forward. This is the thing. That annoys me to no end. I think that is stupid. It is pompous. It is annoying. It is childish. it shows you just not to move on. The people who only respond to tweets using some Bionicle reference. The people who cannot seem to talk about anything else besides anime and Bionicle. The people who don't seem to live normal lives. Who don't act like normal people outside Bionicle. You see way too much of that stuff. Not just to mention, there's a huge... I'm talking about, like, mental issues before, like, with me, just, like, anxiety and depression and stuff. But it's a huge section of the community, too, that suffers from mental conditions which are really messed up, and they don't do anything about it. It's a very toxic place mentally for a lot of people.
Sorry to cut in. Will be very quick, but they've basically what you're complaining about is the Bionicle community has become like the average mainstream community for fan bases and stuff.
The Bionicle thing is it's smaller, so the bad is more concentrated.
But like before, even when it was more popular, everyone was a bit more level-headed and stuff. As it went on, again, degenerates. It's just degenerates.
That's the thing is,
like,
I feel like at least the people in the community, I feel like it's probably because other people like me left that sphere as the more degenerate people came out.
Whoa. Are you blaming yourself for creating a monster meme? Are you...
No, I'm just saying that because people got so obsessive and, like, made Bionicle everything. And again, I'm not, obviously, I run a LEGO YouTube channel. I'm not against you talking about your hobbies stuff. It's one of those things where it's almost hard to point exactly where it is when people go too far, but you know it when you see it. There are definitely people out there, and I will point them out.
A substitute for like a piece of your soul that's missing.
Yeah.
Like,
but I've gone on too long about this. This is just a preface to it. My issue with the Bionicle community.
It's basically just addressing like.
But also,
stuff too.
Bionicle is big. Bionicle is a huge cultural stake for our generation, and a lot of people don't realize that. It is a lot bigger than the community would make you think.
I just saw a meme about Rudaka being rigged on the Resident Evil lady. Lady Dimitrescu or whatever, and it's like that was just random. That I wasn't looking in a Bionicle base thing or whatever. It was just I was scrolling memes, and then there's this Rudaka, and it's like, what's a Rudaka if you don't know Bionicle? But I do. We all do because we're Bionicle fans.
Yeah, if you ask anyone our age, they will remember Bionicle. My friend's wife, when we were in the car and like move along, started playing on my playlist. She said, "Oh, this is the song from the Bionicle commercial." People know it. It is not incredibly niche in like how well known it is. And there are a lot of people for things that are dead. They do have a very big community, a very active community.
Bigger than the Ben 10 community, maybe.
Probably.
So, your talk about the music just triggered a memory for me. When Chris Daughtry was on American Idol, my mom like loved him. When she found out that he had actually started his own band and all that, and was making music, she was excited, and she found out through watching the commercial for the Mari with me. That's the kind of pull it has.
But anyway, again, kind of going off point here.
Keep going, though.
Yeah, like I said, this was the point where I kind of dipped back into the community for a bit, and I really thought, because, there's so many people, there's no reason, especially with how we got up to 10,000 the Ideas Project, there is no reason we shouldn't be able to find 3,000 people. That's not a lot of people. 3,000 people to buy this set and to make it happen, especially on Bionicle's 20th anniversary, that it has been 5 years since the last Bionicle set released. That if you are really that invested in Bionicle, that it is basically your life, day in and day out, to the point it annoys me, you should be there for this. If you are making this your identity, you have no excuse for not supporting this project. This one chance that LEGO has given us to actually have an official set. So, let me address some of the main reasons people didn't buy it. Oh, it's not what I like exactly. Okay. Well, it represents exactly what was in G1. Exactly what you just fawn over day in and day out, and just won't give up even when it's appropriate. It is a really good representation of that. Even if you don't like it completely, again, 20th anniversary, one set, 5 years.
This alone would probably be the like the centerpiece to the collection,
Mhm.
really, of like having it.
If you really cared that much about Bionicle itself, 120 would not be a large price to pay to have one piece of memorabilia from this era.
See if I can find the surgery money tweet
Hmm.
while you're doing this. Let's see what-
So, and then people talk about how, 120 is a lot of money. Okay, G1. G1 started in 2001. Most of the people who were in the age range and then are in their 30s now. People came on later, like some of us, or some younger people, are in their 20s now. We're all adults. Do you not have jobs? Did you not think your life through at all? $120, if you are a competent person and planned out your career at all, by the time you're into almost your mid-20s, you have $120. Only time I would say that's an excuse is if you have a family you're supporting, and guess what? You people out there don't, and I know it! I say you people, no, there are Bionicle fans who have families and stuff, I know, and a lot of them are great people. They weren't the people I'm talking about here. The people who are complaining about it were not the people with families. These are single people, most of them still living with their parents or living in college or whatever. What are you doing with your lives? This is part of, like I said, like the Bionicle community annoys me. These people don't seem to live real productive lives in society. I don't understand it, and it annoys me because it gives us all a bad reputation. Like Ryan said, some of you out there, a lot of you in the Bionicle community, you are degenerates. Not just online, but into society in general. You're a leech off of society. You're not contributing anything. If you're this invested in a toy and you can't even afford in 5 years to spend $120 on it, then you have messed up. You have failed. Get your life in order. Because you have no excuse. There are opportunities out there. Go out and make something of yourself, and you'll have a little bit of cash to show for it.
Clean your room. Leo would understand.
No, I get it too.
Yeah.
But like seriously, and there are a lot of people who supported this. They're good people in the community. Don't get me wrong. I'm not. If you're like saying, wait, that doesn't apply to me, I do this, then I'm not applying to you. If you're saying, well, I don't need to be doing that, then this applies to you. Because and I know for certain this is a problem with a lot of the Bionicle community. I don't know why. I was saying in chat, I want to do a study, find out, like, what's the correlation between the Bionicle community and the unemployment community. The
Also,
jobless community.
I will say, though, if they are unemployed, like, if Bionicle fans are mostly unemployed, there is no excuse that they would have to not get the set because they're getting paid more than I am.
That's true. I was unemployed for a while. I've got another job now. I made
They're
way more on
pretty much getting
unemployment.
paid more than I
No,
am.
seriously,
Yeah.
you make way more on unemployment than you do working a job, and that's
I mean,
messed
why
up.
else is there a job crisis right now?
Well, I mean, it
Nobody wants to
depends
get
on the
hired because
state.
they can all get paid more by the government. So if you're getting paid more to sit on your butt and watch Netflix all day,
It does
why
depend on the
supplement
state,
that
Orion,
by
but
getting
for
the
on
set?
average,
Yeah. If you're
it,
going to sit on your butt and watch Netflix all day, at least like make
Have
YouTube-
something to do,
make
like Bill
YouTube
said.
reviews of,
I'm not
if
saying if
YouTube
you're on
is-
unemployment, you should be buying Bionicle. Don't get me wrong. I'm saying if you're on unemployment and you don't have a
You know, get a
career at
job.
this point in your life, you're a loser, and you can fix that. But only you can fix that.
yeah, it's not like it's hopeless or anything, but like, come
It's
on.
just I've seen this now. What have we been doing this podcast for? Like nearly 7 years now.
I'd say 6.
2014 is when
No.
we started.
Feels
Oh,
like seven.
wow.
It feels longer
Never
than 6.
Yeah, almost 7 years.
Or
It'll
no,
be-
wait, no. Wait, yeah, because we've known each other for like 8 years.
No, we've known each other longer than that. Like it's going on a decade.
Well, I've only known you for like
Yeah, even though it's for about
7 years.
you've known us for at
I think.
least 6, if not
Oh
7.
yeah, like 6-7 years.
But now, and again, the thing I see is I've seen these people grow up, a lot of them, and you guys did nothing with your lives. Again, I don't know if this will reach you even. I really don't, because I know a lot of people. I'm very happy with the small community we have that listens to this podcast. We have a lot of great people who've done good stuff with their lives, and good on you guys, because there's a lot of this community who, let's face it, we talk about a toy. It's a childish hobby. I think it's fine for adults to have hobbies like that. You gotta be an adult. You gotta. You still have to be an adult. You gotta be responsible. You gotta look out for other people. You've gotta be trying to, you should be trying to get your own family still. You should be trying to get your own job, your own house. All of this stuff. You should be striving for it, not waiting for it to come to you. What I've seen from so many of you is you're losers. Absolute losers. And you don't try to do anything with it. You're waiting for it to come to you. Just like with Bionicle. You're not trying to maybe just get a little bit of something, enjoy, live the glory days, just, what is it, $120, 5 years, divide that up, what's like $20 a year, not even that. You can't even do that. It's and again, this is the people, and you're spending this much time for Bionicle theme that's been dead for 5 years, and really, truly, Bionicle's been dead for more than 10 at this point. You're pathetic. Absolutely pathetic. If you're spending all this time on that, you can't get your life in order enough to support something like this. Maybe I'm being harsh, and again, it's not to everyone out there. Some people have unique situations, and I totally understand that, but this is for the broader general. It applies to most of you out there who are the people who refuse to support this, said it's too much.
Not everyone out there can be in a unique situation. Everyone
there's a saying, if you think you're the exception, you're not.
Yes.
And I did want to say before, there are ways to make your hobby work with your life.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I
engage in
what
you do when you need a break from your life.
It's like you can use it to get an escape, because Lord knows we all need it right now. But I approach the hobby in such a way where I'm getting some stuff now so that I may share it with somebody special later. Well, that's always kind of been one of my mentalities around this hobby. It's something that if you're trying to build up your life, you can do the same thing.
Wait, I want to know how Ford plans to share his Transformers collection with his future wife. I want to hear more about this and Liam's plans about the American healthcare system.
I'll tell you later.
But I keep getting that answer. I feel like there's no backbone.
I'll tell you when you're older.
Strategies.
No, seriously. And again, this is, if you're just a casual fan, you just kind of hang out and stuff, I don't blame you for not getting it. If you don't put a lot of time into the hobby, then no, I don't blame you at all for not getting it. It's fine to be a casual fan, to just look back on the old days and just see something you like and then say, that was pretty neat. That's fine. That's okay. What's not fine is being obsessed with something and then complaining about something and wanting something and then not acting on it. Look at the Castle fans. They complain a lot, and we've complained about them complaining a lot. I don't feel that way about them anymore for this, actually. Look, obviously those Castle fans, some of them are scalpers. I believe that to be a small portion of who bought the set, though. Because, we've seen the fans are out there. The Castle fans care about their hobby. I think a lot of them are older, too. People who've gotten their life in order and can afford to, spend the money on it. And I believe if you're 21, you should have your life somewhat in order. I 100% believe that. You've had your chance. And so a lot of us should be in the point where we're like the Castle fans at this point. We should be able to have our favorite theme. For many of us, for me, still, Bionicle is one of my favorite things ever. I love Bionicle. You wouldn't think so because of what I've just been saying. But again, I bought the set. But most of you wouldn't. You're not like the Castle fans who, they complain about stuff, but they act on it. They actually follow through. They actually have lives. They can actually financially support their hobbies, which proves that they've earned the right to have those hobbies. I could go on, but I think that's the gist of it. I hope this reaches some people out there who it'll offend.
That's always the hope.
But the message here is go home and rethink your life and clean your room.
And if anyone, I'm sure some people without context might not understand what I'm saying. If you want to hit me up and discuss this further civilly, Join the BCC Discord server. Always open to talk on there when I have the time. Like I said, I do have a life outside of Bionicle, so not all the time. But I will definitely get around with you within either, if not that day, within the next few days, and we can, come to a better understanding. Some things, yeah, I'm angry. Some I've been harsh, and I want to specify, I'm being harsh to a very specific set of people. A set of people who have actually degraded my joy of something I like a lot. And this year I've been able to enjoy Bionicle a lot more because I separated myself from that group of people. It didn't come up on our channel because certain people screwed up their recording, but we did a speed run of Mnog a while ago, and that was a ton of fun reliving that. Bionicle is still great. I love Bionicle, but the way it tastes some of you put in my mouth for it takes a lot away from me, and because I care about it, that's why I get angry about it like that. Alright, open discussion.
You really hit the nail on the head there, man.
Discussion.
Yeah.
Bionicle fans suck.
I thought there was a fallout though.
I know there was a fall, but again,
but it was really very minimal.
Did you see the tweet though? I found
I saw it.
Actually, no, Liam, did you see it? I found the specific one that I had seen just casually glance.
Is this a thread? Can you pull up the thread for
And
me?
again, this guy, okay, I do see, you know what?
Oh wait,
I'm not above putting people's tweets out there publicly. I'm not. I believe if you said something publicly, you have the right to be criticized publicly.
Public, so
let's bring this up here. Let's dissect this tweet.
well, wait.
yeah, just get the thread out. I'd like to see the thread because I can see that it's part of it.
I'm gonna start with the first tweet here.
Well, no, wait. Don't start it. You need because this
I need
is
the full context.
this is a single thread to the one reply, but the original.
Oh, and this isn't the original tweet.
Well, no. So the original tweet by the guy has more replies by him to that. This is a sub reply, or I don't know if you remember how Twitter works, but he wrote
Yes,
more.
I remember how Twitter works.
Well, I mean, he wrote more, but this is just one response to the first part of what he said.
All right, we're gonna stream here.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Oh.
Okay, let's dissect this first. Wait, you mean to tell me that every Bionicle fan doesn't have over $100 to spend on a whim?
Well, it wasn't a whim.
Yeah, first of all, it wasn't a whim. Second, if you're an adult, especially if you're a single adult, yeah, you should.
There's a meme from the show that people share on called "It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia," and there's a point where one of the characters is saying, "How do three grown men not have $300 between them? It's they're 35-year-old men and they don't have any money at all."
That's true. It's true. Again,
Truly,
I also want to preface once again, if you have a family, I do not include you in this group at all. 100%.
I do have another question.
we're included your kids in this group for not
Are we
buying
above
this.
criticizing their Twitter bios?
Yeah, we're not going to do that.
No, wait, I'm not. Wait, I haven't even seen their bios. I'm not going to the Twitter
Man.
bio thing. I don't
We're not
know
going to
what-
bring their bio into here. We're only going to bring in the tweets on the subject. We can criticize their
Alright.
Twitter bios on our Discord server.
just
Link is
wanna
in the
say,
description below.
I just want to say, this person falls into that category that Liam was telling us about.
Yeah,
that-
well, again, we are way over time already, so let's get going here.
So this is just a microcosm of what's going on here.
And then the
Wait,
reply-
darn, who is this? This picture here. I know who tweeted this, but I forgot.
Who?
Who?
Wasn't that?
Was this Ashen Flash? No, it wasn't.
Who are you talking about?
No, in the tweet thread, his third tweet down there, he quotes and he calls him. And,
That was Brian Salviano. He's
Okay,
on,
yes.
Beyond the Brick, I think.
yes. Okay. Yeah. I think. Either way, I recall this tweet at the time. This guy's
not a
100%
Bionicle
right.
Fan, but he sympathizes with our plight.
Yeah, and
Tim, are you live showing this? 'Cause
Yes,
I
I'm
don't
live
see-
showing it.
Okay.
I'm not showing. I can stream it to you.
No,
as
don't
well.
worry about it on Discord. I was just making sure that it's actually going into the.
Yes, it is actually go. But no, this guy does not deserve to be called this. I'm not gonna say it's an expletive, but
that's not a deserved name. No, and the fact that this tweet is getting traction is just ugh.
Okay.
Well, this is an old tweet. Like, it's not getting whatever traction it had.
Yeah,
It
this
has
is
77 likes.
okay.
That's
I'm
nothing.
I mean, I get that, but still. Also, it's only very niche if you let it be very niche.
yeah, it isn't very niche because obviously the people were out there. They just didn't want to spend the money on it.
There's 10,000 people who supported this the first time, and people said they wanted it.
Okay, if he says on third-party site that doesn't work, okay, the site had issues, but
Also,
again, the
it's
issue
not third party. It is owned by Lego.
yeah, it is owned by Lego as well. But I can understand it's not as mainstream as other things, but everyone knew about it. The Bionicle community knew about it. They obviously knew about it, or they wouldn't be complaining about it.
There's a great reply where someone says that they say the biggest factor to them is that if they were to drop, $120 on Bionicle, well, he says Bionicles, but whatever.
So you're not a fan.
Why would I get visual Bionicle parts to add to my own collection, or like a cool 3D printed mask?
Okay, a 3D printed mask is not an actual Bionicle part.
Or anything that isn't some regular Legos in a cute box.
They say Legos.
Again,
Okay. Nope.
Again, the box is why if I would have gotten this, if it became a set, I would get it for the box mainly. Like, I wasn't too interested in the set, like just to have the box itself. It says 20th anniversary.
And I did have this discussion with Waj, the difference between fan created stuff and official created stuff, and that's I think a valid discussion to be had. But that's not what most people are arguing. Okay,
yeah,
so
I mean, why would you buy this instead of spending $120 on already existing Bionicle?
For one, you can buy the existing Bionicle anytime. You can only buy this once.
And again, it's just, what is it, symbology?
Yeah, it's a limited edition thing. And for me, at least, speaking from a personal standpoint, I know it's the only chance we would ever have gotten to get the Battle of Bar Magna.
That's true also. The Motonui robot in the set.
You can't easily rebuild that thing.
For whatever it is.
Prints.
Yeah, you're never going to get a Motonui robot set.
And don't even tell me that you're going to try and build the robot.
And not to mention, the brick-built Motonui robot is not something that has never been brought up in the community before. Don't tell me people have not talked about they buy it.
And
it's not a very inventive or good idea.
So,
it's not the kind of thing that you could just.
But let me
do.
Let me go, and again, I don't know this guy. I don't know why he said this, but I can only take him what his words he put out there publicly to be judged. Surgery money. You live a very, very privileged life if you think that is surgery money.
I did not know you had surgery, Liam.
Yeah, this has been a tough year for me. I gotta keep getting bills for thousands of dollars every other week, and I don't know when they're gonna stop. But yeah, going to the doctor itself can cost $50 to $200.
I mean, that's kind of must have killer insurance if $120 is a chunk of insurance.
Yeah,
I want to know what insurance this guy has.
Yeah.
Can I get this, please?
So yeah, it is everyone else's fault it isn't greenlit, because if it isn't everyone else's fault, whose fault is it? Not the people who bought multiple copies of the set.
I don't even know what he's trying to get at with this tweet.
This sounds like an attack on LJ here.
It does, but that's not at all.
Yeah, this is definitely an attack on LJ.
Also, if he's saying he's gonna be the face of the Bionicle fan base, then the Bionicle fan base sucks.
Yeah, okay, and LJ's a friend of ours. There are definitely things I disagree with LJ on. LJ is a very argumentative person. That's no secret to anyone. No, LJ is definitely a friend. What the heck are you spitting in his face for here? Yeah, he told people to buy it because he wanted a 28th anniversary Bionicle set. What else do you expect him to do, moron?
10,000 followers.
Where are there 10,000 voters now? Yeah! What are you...
Did he just own himself?
No, no, this is he's quoting someone that said that. He's saying that they are the people who have an issue. This is less than a third of what the people who supported the Ideas Project. And I can hear what Ryan said about some people, like voting for, or just so it's a thing. Those people are wrong, though. That's not what it's for. You're very wrong. And again, you're telling me that many people, that many Bionicle fans, 10,000 Bionicle fans who do exist, a third of them weren't willing to put their money where their mouth was. Less than 30% were willing.
Sorry.
Or exactly 30. Yeah, no less than 30%.
When you said that, a whole like rumble of thunder just came up in my background. So I was like, whoa, he's like
Yeah,
the force of God.
less than 30%. In fact, it got like 15% of those people who voted for it actually were willing to put their money where their mouth is. Even if there is a good portion of people, like Orion said, this is a ridiculous portion who were like the situation Orion said.
Actually, I don't know if this makes it worse or not, but further down through all the replies, he says that he was able to put up the money for it, but he's in a position. I actually don't understand this tweet. He says, I was able to put up the money for it, but I'm in a position where I could have done it, and I would have been a fool to expect everyone else to.
Same guy.
So, okay, if we're not, and again, we're not expecting everyone else to. We're expecting 30% of just the people who voted for the Ideas Project.
I didn't even vote for the project.
I didn't vote for the Ideas Project either.
I paid for it, so...
I voted for it.
I voted for it too.
I usually don't vote on it because I wasn't entirely sure at the time if I wanted the set or not, so I didn't vote for it.
Yeah, this is. I posted to the.
Okay,
I
this
can't-
guy's
stop.
a total hypocrite.
No, but I can't tell if there's a spelling error or something here. Like I don't.
So this
I
guy
actually
put
don't-
it up. This guy put up the money, and I don't know if he's like being satirical here or not, or if he's joking or whatever.
maybe.
But like, supposedly taking this at its word, this guy put up the money,
Don't show the analytics.
complains about it being surgery money, and then has the gall to go on and say, "Oh well, you people suck."
Yeah, and again, not once have we said literally every person and should have been able to have the money. I don't think any of us have said anywhere near that. We said at least 3,000, at least 30%.
It's not like we're saying you should have had the money. It's like we're saying
Some of you should have.
From a statistical standpoint, I at least thought that it would pull through because if there's 10,000, basically you need like a third of or like a little bit more than a third, but a third of the people voting for it to pay for it. That's a very reasonable thing. It's not like I'm just like you have to buy this, but like statistically, it makes common sense that if 10,000
Spend
people vote for
$100 on an
something,
ugly diorama.
about roughly
Okay.
3,000 would be able to fit.
Have you heard of this line called Lego architecture? It's been going on for nearly 10 years.
Yeah, okay, there's someone in the chat here. I'm tired of throwing people under the bus and pronouncing names right now. But, no one wants to spend 100 plus on an ugly diorama. Okay, well, there's...
I mean,
there's a few
it's
problems
more than
there.
a diorama,
How
but
about, like,
I do.
How
I
about
do
all these
agree.
Star Wars gift with purchases that they've been
Yeah,
going on for
first
like
off,
3 years?
that's the way I'm... Look,
It's
I don't...
It's a nice
Like, you don't have a huge voice in this, so I don't want to attack you too hard directly. But the way you're making your argument's very bad. Because, for one, obviously, a lot of people wanted to. For another, one of the other sets that came up, The Pursuit of Flight,
That
the
is also
diorama.
That's not
And
pretty
that's sold
either.
out.
Wait, is it a diorama?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I wish that dioramas were like circular.
So, if you really hate it that much, again,
Well, did you vote for it though? Like,
yeah,
that's
first off, did you vote for it? If you say, no, I didn't vote for the ideas, then I'd say,
But then
okay,
you-
you're free. I don't think,
But if
I
you
think it's
voted
valid.
for
You
it-
did,
If you voted for it and then you didn't like go to buy it.
yeah. And if you refuse to buy it, and you keep saying Lego make more Bionicle, then I also have an issue with it. But if you, like, say, I really didn't like that, I didn't support the idea set, it's just not my thing, then that's fine. I would say you're totally in the right.
Thunder is getting really loud.
What's funny,
It's
I'm
wild.
just like looking up Bionicle on Twitter. I see a lot of Bionicle fans are like artists, not safe for work artists mainly.
Oh, that is.
But also furries too. What I'm
Yeah.
seeing. As
We can
well.
talk about like the
You make a lot,
mental
like-
state of the Bionicle community.
Like you make a lot of money off of not safe for work furry commissions. Surely, like if you wanted to set, you could have done one more in that week, and like gotten the set or something.
And again,
Like,
and
I know how much.
I
money you
would
can
also make
pull
the
in.
argument, even if the set isn't exactly what you want, it's something, and it's objectively not horrible. It's objectively a pretty
the
nice
box.
thing. It's objectively the only chance you're gonna get.
Also, the idea. I don't know how much truth this would actually hold. Maybe some, but the stepping stone to see.
If Lego would do more of this.
Well, not necessarily more of this, but dang it, what's the? Because you had this, and then you had the other thing where it's like the 100-year anniversary.
Do the 90th
like,
anniversary, yeah.
90th, yeah. Sorry, that would be like the stepping stone. Like if this succeeded, like if it just crushed it, I think that would be more of an.
Yeah,
incentive.
Lego would very much think of doing it at that point.
I don't
Again,
know how much the set
and
would
I
be
get-
worth that they would make, but let's say it's $100. Basically, combined, you'd be spending $220 for like even if you didn't like this, you'd be spending $220 for this actual, possibly maybe I don't know, construction, maybe not construction, I don't know. This other set that Lego would make, and I think, like to me, that would be actually worth it. Like I'm not too much into this set. But if I could more or less guarantee a bigger chance at it getting this other like better thing, I probably would have spent the money. I that wasn't going to happen, but.
And again, I mean to put it in perspective, this isn't like $120 all the time. It's once.
You're not buying. It's not like an HBO Max subscription fee or something. Like it's just the one-time thing. Like.
Okay, so I want to address this comment that just came up by Potato Man. I think the problem is, first, the price tag. We've addressed that in great detail here. If you're a productive member of society, and especially if you're a single productive member of society, that's not an issue.
Well, but also, like, if you voted for it.
Yeah, if you voted for it, too.
Thing. Like, to me, I could care less. Well, I do care if you're a productive member of society. But it's less if, it's more or less if you voted for it, probably should have bought it.
Mm-hmm.
I know I'm saying that as a person who did not buy it. I just spent like a couple, like almost $1,000 on other stuff. I didn't have the budget for it at the time, unfortunately. But
also, and then his next point, I mean, it would be more simple to say Lego to remember Bionicle give us a re-release of the Toamata. That is a statement made in a lot of ignorance. Because
I still understand why it's so expensive to do the thing with the molds, but we've already gone through this before.
Well, that's something I'll have to talk to an engineer.
It's not feasible, like financially or logistically.
Yeah, that's not feasible. And I think if people are complaining about that, that's a stupid thing to complain about.
They've been wanting to get re-releases of the Mata for years. It's not going to happen.
Also, the Mata are super cheap on the aftermarket right now. Just go out and buy one.
Get one on the aftermarket. Heck,
with the tweet that's
like I
talking
said,
about,
you're willing to get a bunch of stuff on the aftermarket. You're not willing to get this set.
like if you want a re-release of the Toamata, you could probably go buy nearly mint condition for less. Like, I mean, the guy on Twitter did have a point. Like,
So yeah, if that's what it's about, stop complaining.
but
again, if you're and again, look, I don't know you guys who are in the chat. I have not been following you on social media. If you're like people you didn't vote, you don't just rage about Bionicle constantly. You don't make it your entire identity. You didn't vote for the Ideas Project, and you said, I don't like this, I don't want to spend money on it. I have no issue with you whatsoever. I'm addressing the anger has been towards the people who make Bionicle like their life, a very large community of people.
I think, well, Potato Man, he just said he lives in a third world country.
He said live, but...
Oh, maybe I missed the context for that then. We did get some more comments, though. We got some more comments of every Lime set.
So yeah, we're actually getting a
like-
lot more
we're just like-
comments in, and I think a lot of these we have addressed earlier in the episode, so I don't want to keep rehashing it. I'd recommend a lot of people to go back and listen to the rest of this episode if you're just tuning in.
I think it like gets good at the 10-minute.
And for the Bionicle parts thing, I think you need to, if you say, oh, I want Bionicle as it exactly was, you're never going to get Bionicle as exactly was back. The past does not come back. We can get stuff inspired by the past, stuff that's cool callbacks to the past. And yeah, Pteran said I did not vote for it. Yeah, I have no issue with you, man.
No, you're in the clear if you didn't.
I think your arguments are valid 100%. And wait, the Great Spirit Robot Ideas set would have been way better.
Was there one? I don't remember this. Or
I haven't seen. I'm sure there's plenty of them out there. But again, this had the Great Spirit Robots in there, and it might not be exactly one. I think it was pretty good. And a lot of them out there, I think a lot of people who are complaining about this might not in perspective what Lego costs nowadays, what inflation has been since these days. And now people are saying Great Spirit Robot Ideas set, definitely. This had that.
No.
Look, I don't.
I remember at one point I did say that like a big GSR would probably work, like because it's a nice general set, but like. I think the Bionicle name is just tainted.
It would be
now.
too expensive.
Also, yeah, it would be more. It would be more than this. I don't think you all realize what a great deal we got on this.
Well, wait, what was the thing? I had another.
Why do you think most Lego sets are facades? Because it is expensive. And think about it, like a set, Ninjago set that's coming out that I want, the Hydro Bounty. That's going to be 140, I believe.
30, I think.
It's not going to be huge.
Still,
Lego is not cheap. It is gone up in price, and there are tons of economic factors.
I feel like their quality.
Their quality has definitely gone up too.
I mean, the creativity behind some stuff I wouldn't say has gone up personally, but I feel like the overall quality of individual sets.
It certainly has, and a lot of them actually, the price for piece value is actually better in a lot of cases.
I mean, like, again, you do have inflation.
They make bigger... Yeah, well, I'd say Lego has not actually increased that much in price with inflation. The issue is the sets have increased in detail and complexity, and that comes with a price tag.
Yeah.
And again, this is a price per piece ratio on this set that is almost unheard of in Lego. It is...
To me, though, again, I hate to bring this up again, it's the box.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. Like, let's face it.
Because the pieces themselves, it's not like it's official brand new Lego stuff, but the box itself would be like a brand spanking new Lego creation. Like,
and it would have the name Bionicle.
And Sombrero Man mentions the color consistency. Yeah, okay, there's QA issues. Also,
yeah,
I think you're on our Discord server. You don't recall a while ago. Also, the New Elementary posted an interview with Lego's QA team. They actually address a lot of these directly, which I thought was really cool. I would recommend checking that out. Not excusing them, but Lego, I do respect them for actually addressing that these are real issues, and they have talked about how they're fixing them.
I don't know. It probably shouldn't have happened in the first
place.
It
shouldn't. No, it shouldn't.
It's rare, though, that, like, you would never see Disney doing something like that.
No. And, like, we complained a lot, like, the minifigure printing in recent years hasn't been the best for, like, light on dark printing.
I mean, dude, I remember when they came out with the leg printing.
Oh, no, yeah, like, the quality, like, back in Bionicle's day.
Pharaoh's Quest. That was huge.
Yeah, like, minifigure quality has improved so much in our day. Like, the 2000s, a lot of those sets just don't really hold up, with the exception of, like, Power Miners and Mars Mission.
If you want a good reference, it's like, look at the, no, it's a bad reference, but it's a good reference for context here. Look at the Lego Avatar set. It looks like a fan creation, like, but that was also somewhat... I'm not saying the set build was the standard, but the look, like the overall, I don't know, the printing, some stuff like that. That was like that was the standard at the time for like what Lego would put out like on a normal line or whatever. Not to like that like the level of complexity, like how bad it is. I know, so the viewer count drops as soon as I talk about Lego Avatar.
Yeah.
Holy moly.
But then I want to address this one last comment in chat, and then I'm probably going to need to wrap up. He said the Great Spirit I saw was a big version. You're going to pay the price for that. And if you're saying money is no object, then maybe I can see it a bit more. But I don't think you realize how much that's going to cost.
It also would look super weird to display next to other Bionicle stuff.
Like, it would probably
If you had
be
a giant brick-built Matanui robot.
Look, and
it would probably
ultimately,
be on par with like the Voltron, and that was what, $250?
I want to end this
The
episode
Voltron was cool. The Voltron was cool.
Yeah, the Voltron was really cool.
Yeah.
But anyway, I want to end this just saying one more time. There are a lot of you who this doesn't apply to. I'm addressing at least half of the community, though. And I'm sure some of you in the
I
chat...
feel like it's almost more.
No, but I'm being generous.
Negative.
I'm being generous here. At least
'Cause I
half
don't
of the
wanna be too
community.
negative.
And I'm addressing people who show particular behaviors of obsessiveness in the community. I am addressing that there are so many Bionicle fans out there who are so picky that they won't do anything else. It's exactly what they want, I think, is also an issue. Personally, I'm not going to have an issue with probably most of you who are saying I don't like this, and I can disagree with a lot of people on this, and that's fine. Who I'm going to hold a beef with is some of these annoying members of the community who are obsessive about Bionicle, who take things way too, like, lifestyle-y, and then won't put their money where their mouth is. Those people are losers. Don't be those people. Be a productive member of society.
And clean your room.
Yeah. And if you... This opportunity won't come up again. Not for a long time, at least. And if I was Lego, I would say you'd have to be an idiot to want to make another set for this anytime soon, or maybe anytime at all. Because everything is shown. Bionicle is not profitable. It's not going to come back
Well,
if it's not profitable.
it's not necessarily that Bionicle isn't profitable. I feel like the fan base isn't profitable. Like if you made,
You'd have to reintroduce it. It doesn't have enough, legacy power on its own.
yeah, like you said before, you could make a new, not like a new Bionicle like G2 or whatever. But
why do that at this point when Lego is so successful with everything else?
I feel like Bionicle could be profitable under like a new name sort of thing, or
You mean like
whatever.
Ninjago?
I mean, like essentially, yeah. I mean, that's basically what happened. I think that's basically.
Also, some point out the Toa head statue. That's one that I actually feel is way more boring than this, but that's down to personal preference. And also keep in mind, this is coming from a guy who did not like G2. And I don't think you have to like G2. Like some people say you had to say it's positive just because. No, I don't think that either. There is so much that goes into this, and a lot of it, you really have to have had the experience to understand where some of it I'm coming from is.
Yeah, I mean, like, I've got the G2 box set. It's like the second of 2 in the world. And I still think that there's a lot of stuff wrong with how they handle G2.
I mean, the
sets
box though. The
are-
box.
Okay, and it's the saying the
the
set lacked a
box
ton of what
actually-
people liked about Bionicle.
Actually,
Last
I
comment
would
I'm going to
say
address.
The box does have issues. It has like a 1-to-1 Tahu mask, but it's actually like double the size of what it should be.
let Liam say
Okay,
that.
I'm going to address this last comment, then I'm actually just going to cut the stream here, because we could go on forever. I don't think that's fair. The set by design lacked a ton of what people liked about Bionicle. Bull. No, you're 150% wrong about that. It had the story, it had the Mighty Robot, it had reference to all things G1 in it. It had at least a large amount of what people loved about G1.
I mean,
and-
people didn't just love G1 for the construction alone.
It's
Like, that's
100%.
Are there people who don't like the beach? Or
Exactly.
the Death of Totoro? Like, I get people not liking the Death of Totoro. But, like,
Well,
are there people who
what?
don't like the beach?
no, in the Death of Matoro, the Mighty Robot, the Tahu on the beach, those are the definitive moments of Bionicle. And I would say if you, outside of this context, went and asked people stuff what they loved about Bionicle, that would be 80% of what comes up. No
Hey,
questions.
Commercials a big part next. No one is immediately going to say, I really liked the construction builds of Bionicle when they're recalling why they liked Bionicle. I mean, they were good, but that's not why. Right?
So,
I think.
yeah, no, if you polled people, it was the thing that drew people in was the story. This represented the story greatly. and at least a good portion of the community should have bought it. You have no excuse otherwise. It is not all about construction.
And other points made in the video, but
Alright, do you have to keep trying to interrupt getting a dramatic ending?
no, I thought you were done. I'm sorry, I thought you were done. I didn't know you were pausing for dramatic effect.
And
Sorry.
construction's not coming back. It's not. It's not viable. It's not happening. You blew your chance to get Bionicle back because you were too picky. You were too stuck up. You, the community, killed Bionicle. Lego has given you so much grace and so many chances. It is your fault. Thank you for watching, everyone, and join us again next week.